All right. So welcome to BSing with Sean K. I'm your host, Sean Kneese. Today my guest is Angelica Vargas, or she's also known as Angelica Valkyrie of the band Flames of Fury. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And what could you tell us about your band Flames of Fury and how did it first get started?
Flames of Fury is a melodic, heavy / power metal band. It started back in 2009 with myself and my lead guitarist Jason Perez. And we got started. We just started working on a bunch of cool music, and then we saw, hey, let's make a band out of this, and Flames of Fury was born. So.
And how would you describe your band's sound, and how has it developed over the years?
I like to say it's a nuclear explosion, but our band sounds pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of eclectic in a way, but it's very strict to harmonies and melodies. It's a type of music that anybody can really get into. It's very metal. It's unmistakably metal, but it's also extremely melodic. Like somebody who's into pop music might also be interested in this style. And I actually sing. I don't actually scream into a microphone. Not that there's anything wrong with screaming, but I just don't do it. Unless you count the occasional banshee screams, yeah! All that crazy. But, outside of that, it's pretty melodic, and it's something everybody can get into. And as far as the sound is concerned, as it developed over the years, we have, an interesting sound where our earlier music is, it's very melodic. It's got that, that very anthemic theme to it, and it still does. That's still very prevalent, but at the same time, I guess as I progressed as a musician, especially within the metal community, I've gotten much more aggressive, and, I just crave a little bit more of a little thrash mixed in with my music, a little bit more of a heavy sound, extreme tribute to Sabbath and also Maiden, things of that nature. And then a couple of our songs are also a little darker and more sinister in nature. You can hear even black metal influences in the background occasionally. So, but yeah, it's been a crazy roller coaster ride, and I love it.
And what's the latest news with your band as far as gigs and recordings?
Okay, gigs. We have actually 2 shows coming up in June. In fact, let me just take a look at my calendar and make sure I've got all that stuff. We're doing a show June 7th actually in Queens, and June 27th we're doing the Flight of the Valkyries Festival in Baltimore, Maryland. And we actually played there back in 2011, and it was such a blast. The Flight of Valkyries 5. And we actually were pretty early. That was really when we were starting out. And it was a lot of fun. And, a lot of people just have been asking for us to come back all this time. And so, we've been dying to go back there, and now we finally do so. And it's in the summertime, so I'm really looking forward to that. And regarding other news, just this past Saturday, we released a YouTube link of a cover song that we're working on. I don't know if you're familiar with the new David Hasselhoff Kung Fury song, True Survivor. Well, we just released a cover of True Survivor, so we really kind of connected with it, and it was just such an awesome, ridiculously crazy song. We had to cover it, and we never do any covers. That's the first time we've ever done a cover of any recordings, and so we had to do it, and I had a blast doing it. We just concentrated an entire week, every day I'm going into the studio singing and going crazy with these crazy lyrics and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
And what can you tell us about yourself, and how did you first become interested in music?
I've always been interested in music. I mean, for as long as I can remember, since I was 3 years old, my earliest memories, my family, has always been into music, and especially dance, but I'm one of the few people that can actually sing, although I was really shy when I was a kid. In fact, I was so shy that I used to pretend I couldn't sing just to blend in. But I've always loved music. I've always connected with music and different types of music all through my life, and it's been a crazy journey how I got into particularly metal later on. This band started in 2009, And, it's metal has been something I've always connected to since I was in high school and stuff. And, I've had people tell me that, you really can't sing metal. You're a chick. Oh, you're going to ruin the song. What are you doing trying to sing Metallica? I've had all that bullshit. And it took a long time for me to just kind of push that mentality aside. Say, why not? Why the fuck not? I mean, really, it took a while for me to take some time and tell myself, listen, there's absolutely no reason why I couldn't sing in a metal band and heavy metal. I mean, it's why can't I sing Metallica? I mean, there's really no reason why I can't sing Metallica. Why can't I sing Maiden? I mean, Bruce Dickinson, he's got these soaring high melodies that perfectly fit in my range. Why couldn't I sing like that? There is no reason for me not to. And it's something I've always wanted to do and something I've always loved to do. And, that's how I got into this. So, it's a labor of love when you're in a band like this. It's just something you got to do,
So, like, were there other styles you experimented with before metal, or?
Well, when I first started singing, I was officially, as far as my training is concerned, when I was 14, I was in high school and I joined a choir, and I was in classes for choirs, and I constantly got the solos. I was singing classical music. When I was in college, I actually studied music performance at Concordia College for 2 years. And there I was studying how to sing opera and oratorios and art songs and singing in a choir as well. And I learned a lot from being there for 2 years. And I was also in the jazz band there. So I have that kind of flexibility in my voice, at least I like to think so. So, yeah, and then I was in a rock band shortly before Flames of Fury. They're just pretty cool, it's that, I mean, they kind of tie in a little bit rock and metal, obviously you have a lot of fans that are into rock, they're also into metal and vice versa, but, I really wanted to kind of take it to the edge and take it to the limit, like one of my songs, Take It to the Limit, so.
And are, like, some of your old influences, like, still in your newer music, or?
I mean, perhaps. I mean, I'm not a symphonic metal singer like Tarja or Flora Jensen from Nightwish, although I love both their voices. They really sound wonderful. But it's really not present in this style of music. But a lot of the training that I've had, I definitely had to use nowadays. I mean, being able to sing this style is not easy. I mean, some of the music I'm singing, requires me to hit some high notes and hold them out for long periods of time, and it takes a lot of physical training to be able to do that. So.
And you talked a little bit like about this. Like, what has been like your experience being a female in the metal scene?
For the most part, believe it or not, it's actually been really positive once I just went into it. When I was younger, I mean, a lot of my peers that were also metalheads, like, they were more, I guess, listening to more like thrash and stuff. And, I would listen to something like Metallica, and then I would start to sing along, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're ruining the song. Chicks can't do this. No, no, no. And I guess I had let that sink in back when I was a teenager and stuff, and I didn't even, try unless it was Nightwish, and it was, like, operatic. And it was, like, I felt like it was kind of stuck in that bubble for a while. But then once I actually got into this music and kind of shook that out, like, just shook off that mentality, people embrace me with open arms. I mean, I actually have, I've been incredibly, I don't like to say the word blessed because it's kind of metal, it's not very metal. But in a way, I have been maybe blessed by Ronnie James Dio in a weird way. But so many people have just come out and not only, have been really into my music and been supportive of me and have been coming to my shows, but also been like helping me out and promoting my shows and promoting, my music and telling their friends and stuff. And it's, it's actually really awesome nowadays. So, that whole mentality was just kind of, I guess it was, mostly bullshit. But yeah, I mean, you'll hear a lot of mixed opinions. For the most part, in my case, it's been really, so far, a great ride. Being a female hasn't really affected me that dramatically. It does kind of honestly help as far as promotions. A lot of people are really, it seems that female-fronted metal has become a subgenre in and of itself, where people follow metal bands with female singers in them. specifically. Even though the different bands aren't the same in genre, they'll still follow that, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I don't want to be stuffed into a bubble of all these other women just because we're all women. I mean, I don't sound anything like Arch Enemy, you know. There's a lot of other female-fronted acts that, you know, are really awesome, but I don't sound anything like them. You know, I don't sound anything like Nightwish or, you know, any of those symphonic metal bands. I'm not a black metal band, you know. I just don't sound like that. So it's a little odd to be put into that same category with a bunch of women, which are awesome in their own rights, but I don't sound anything like them. But at the same time, I'm not complaining, just because it's another way for the community to continue to grow.
So, like, do you wish, like, there were more women in metal at this point, or do you feel like there's a lot of them in bands now, or?
I guess percentage-wise, I read this somewhere that, you know, do I want more women in metal? Absolutely. But percentage-wise, I think it hasn't really changed. The amount of metal bands that have been surfacing has, you know, increased exponentially, and as a result, there are a lot more female singers and female musicians in general joining bands. But as for the ratio of women to men, it's still about the same. It's just that there's a lot more of us, you know. So would I like to see more women in metal? Absolutely, you know, definitely. It'd be great. It'd be great to see more of us coming out there and, you know, kind of shaking off that same vibe that I had when I was a teenager, and, you know, just go at it. Have no fear, you know, and show no mercy. Damn it.
So what can you say about the music video for the song No Mercy, and what was your experience like recording it?
Recording was really awesome. No Mercy was actually written by Jason Perez. He wrote the lyrics and wrote the music for that song. And when he showed it to me, it was really interesting where the inspiration came from, and I connected with it instantaneously. And it had to do with this college student at the time that actually committed suicide. I think maybe you heard about the story where he jumped off, I think, the George Washington Bridge. And not because of traffic, although I kind of felt like with that this morning. But he jumped off George Washington Bridge because he was being bullied by one of his I guess his roommate was bullying him, and him and his classmates were bullying him, and he couldn't take it anymore. And the poor kid killed himself, and it's a horrible, horrible story. But you know, there was a lot of different mixed opinions on the topic on bullying, and you know, raised awareness about bullying, which is good. But our view on the matter was that really what he should have done is stood up for himself and show these guys no mercy, and, you know, maybe get his friends on board. Like, listen, this guy's bullying me, and I think they were bullying him because he was gay. And he's like, listen, get all of your gay friends together and kick their asses. Like, this is not acceptable. This is bullshit. You know, how the hell are you going to just throw your life away for some assholes, some idiots that are pushing you around? Push back, you know, show no mercy. You know, and that's really what that song is about, no mercy, you know. And you'll see that in the video that you see this kid in a college, actually, in Jersey, too. And, you know, he's being pushed around by this guy and you know, his friends and stuff. And, you know, and what's happening and throughout the video is this kid's just constantly being bullied left and right. He just can't seem to get away from it and get away from him. And eventually he gets to that point that he just can't take it anymore, and he clocks him. It's awesome. It was absolutely glorious. He just freaking clocks the guy. And it's like, okay, you know, he turns a leaf and he shows him what's what.
And so, like, what have been some of your favorite experiences playing shows, and, like, what have been some of your favorite places to play?
Favorite experiences? Man, we've had a lot of great experiences over the years. It's kind of hard to really say. I mean, I don't know how many shows we've done so far. I mean, quite a few. But some of my favorite places have been in the city, like B.B. King's. We played with Doro Pesh there, and we actually played with Doro again in Gramercy Theater. And you know, Doro's wonderful, and she's such a sweetheart. She's a really kind soul inside and out. And it's great playing with her, but it's also great playing, to her fans, because it's just some of the most positive, vibe, just really awesome vibes from these people, and you get the idea of a stereotypical metalhead. They're like all, arms crossed over their chest, and they're just like, fuck this shit. These guys are like the coolest guys. They're so enthusiastic. They're up in front of the stage. They got the horns up in the air, and it's really awesome to see that enthusiasm. I would say another really cool one was actually Flight of the Valkyries back in 2011, I believe. And, we went down to Baltimore, and we're thinking, everybody knows us in New York City. They know us in Jersey. They know us in Long Island. We don't know anybody out in Baltimore. So we're trying to promote to everybody online and stuff. And we get down there, and, we just kind of blow everyone away. And it's like, I get off the stage, and everybody's asking me for my album, and all I brought at the time were a couple of demos that I recorded onto CDs myself, little 3-song demos. And I brought as many as I could put in my tiny little backpack purse, which was maybe about 15 or 17, and I sold all of them within like a 20-minute time span. And I couldn't believe it. It was just like, whoa, here you go from a culture in New York City where you're kind of like, all right, it's another band, one of, 200. Okay, maybe I'll get their album on the way out, or maybe not. And you go down to Baltimore, and you have people that come from hundreds of miles away just to check out a metal show and check out, a bunch of female-fronted metal acts. And they're just swapping up my album. I'm literally like, just, okay, I can't get them out fast enough. It's like, holy shit. I don't know what to do here. And it was just really awesome. Like, and the same people have been following me ever since, which is why I'm so excited to go down there in June, because I want to see everybody again. And it's just like it's kind of like formed like a small heavy metal family in a weird way. And I'm so looking forward to that. That was just so great.
And so you're saying like overall it's been easy promoting yourself,
Has it been easy? No. I mean, it's really just a matter of, I guess, being tenacious and just keep, persevering and keep going out there, giving out flyers. And, social media has made it significantly easier, I'm sure. Everyone's aware nowadays, Facebook, and, we do have Twitter, and, we have the website and stuff like that. And that significantly helps to get the word out to everybody and whatnot. But at the same time, I think one of the best things that works for me personally, especially in New York City, is actually physically going to shows and just cold introducing myself to total strangers. Like, hi, my name's Angelica Vargas. I'm the lead singer of Flames of Fury. I give out a card. Say, this is my band. It's heavy melodic power metal. Take a listen when you get a chance. If you like it, come to a show. And just keep saying that to people over and over and over. And basically just selling myself and selling my band, for years and years. And is it easy? No. Every once in a while you get some people like, whatever. And, you get some people that are just assholes. Yeah, okay. That's like maybe 5%. But then you get some really cool people that you talk to. And then, they listen to your music, then they email you later on Facebook or whatever. And they're just like, holy shit, this is so cool. And they talk to their friends about it. And that's what keeps me going, When you get that enthusiasm from people, you did something right. You know that it's speaking to somebody out there, that your lyrics are coming out to these people, the music's speaking to them, and you just keep on going. You just can't stop,
And how would you describe the lyrics of your band?
The vast majority of the lyrics are pretty empowering. I mean, let's take a look at the EP, for instance. We released a 5-song EP in 2013. The first track is Take It to the Limit, and it's basically about, hitting the ground running, never let them see you coming, and taking your life to the limit, and, pushing everything out of the way to do what you got to do. Other songs like No Mercy are a little more aggressive, but, again, it's about, it's basically about beating up the bullies, like showing no mercy and, kicking some ass along the way. Some of our lyrics, like I Burn, are a little darker in nature. It's about demonic possession. So, the most direct way to say that song is about demonic possession, and, it's a quest for power, actually. That's what really the song is about. It's this quest for, I burn, let the flames take over me, and, you're willing to burn for your desires, for what you want in your own life. So, believe it or not, actually, a lot of my lyrics there's a positivity kind of hidden within, even though they're still very metal. We worked on a song more recently. It's called Soul Survivors, and the lyrics were inspired by the fact that we did a show with this band Primal Fear. They're these crazy German metalheads, and they've been around for a long time, and they sound absolutely wonderful. And they come to, they do shows like in front of like 10,000, 20,000 people out in Europe and in South America and all these other places. Come to the United States, and there's like maybe 200 people, 300 people they're playing in front of, and it's like, here we are, we're the Soul Survivors, and the song's about, heavy metal standing strong here, and, we just have to keep that flame burning. So, that's a general theme, is kind of like kicking ass within your own life and kicking ass and keeping metal alive.
And, like, how would you describe the songwriting process for your band, and, like, how long does it take to come up with new material?
It's on a case-by-case basis. The songwriting process usually starts out with either myself or Jason having some lyrics in mind. And sometimes we can come up with a melody instantaneously. Sometimes most of the time he comes up with music immediately, and I'll come up with a vocal melody right immediately after that. Sometimes we'll work on a song together. We'll take some music that he worked on in the past and he wants to incorporate into a song, and so we'll sit there and write out lyrics. We have a few songs like that, but most of the time I'll write out some lyrics that just kind of come out of thin air. Usually just kind of like, it's like being hit in the side of the head. Whoa, lyrics! Okay, get out that pen and paper. I actually still use pen and paper. I don't really use a computer. It's kind of weird, but for some reason there's something that happens. There's some kind of magic that happens when I actually pick up a pen and apply it to paper and start writing. They just the lyrics start writing themselves in a weird way. So most of the time I'll write out some lyrics, send them over to Jason, say, hey, this might make us a good song. Sometimes he digs it, sometimes he doesn't. Most of the time he does. He's like, hey, I think I got something. I got dun 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 dun. I'm like, okay, this could be cool. And then, I'll try to come up with different melodies that might work with it. And it's a pretty cool process.
And do you have any new songs in the works? And if so, how do they differ from your past material?
We have quite a few songs actually in the works. I was talking about this song Soul Survivors, which we haven't played yet. We haven't released it, and I don't think anybody's actually heard it yet. And one of the things that's really different about that song is there's a lot of instrumentation. There's a little more synthesizers and choral works in the background and stuff like that. And yeah, the instrumentation is like so different. And it's a very anthemic, like dun 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 dun. It's really super anthemic and crazy like that, and it's really uplifting. So I would say that really makes things different. Another song we're working on called The Prince. It's a polar opposite of that. It's actually extremely dark, and it has these kind of like a black metal theme in the background. It has a lot of instrumentation, like a lot of synthesizers once again being used. How it differs is those of you who are familiar with a lot of our songs, most of it is very basic, 2 guitarists, 1 bass, drums, vocals. That's it. We usually don't dress up our songs all that crazy. I Burn has like the lyrics of the Satanic Bible written backwards, but beyond that, it's pretty straightforward metal. A lot of our newer music, however, is going to have a lot more, a lot more additions of various instrumentation involved. So you expect to see a lot of that coming down the pipeline.
So do you have any other passions besides music? And if so, is it hard to make time for them while still staying dedicated to the band?
Yes. One of the things that actually kind of stands out also in my in my stage persona, one of my extracurricular activities is martial arts. I've been studying various martial arts since I was in high school, around the same time I got into metal, so they're almost kind of tie in together. And I got into just basic Shotokan karate when I was a teenager. I made it up to brown belt, then I graduated high school. It was a karate club, believe it or not. They had a karate club in our school. And then after high school, I went to college, and I just kind of picked up a couple of different arts from other people, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Old Chinese style Tai Chi, various ground fighting techniques, things like that. And then I ended up going to a school that had a Taekwondo team, so I started taking Taekwondo for a while. and competing in that. Around that same time, I was taking an Okinawan style karate, Shorin-ryu karate. So I kind of dig that, and I actually really connected with that a lot. Fast forwarding to today, now I'm studying another Okinawan style, which borrows a lot from Shorin, called Isshin-ryu karate, and it also incorporates a lot of weapons training. So that's kind of neat. And they have kobudo and sword fighting techniques that I've been studying periodically. But it can be challenging, doing shows and staying up and doing the headlining acts and coming home at 2 a.m. only to try to wake up the next day to try to go into the dojo and work out. So yeah, it's definitely challenging to make the time every once in a while. It's something that's never going to leave me. It's kind of like very similar to metal. It's one of those things I can't stop doing it. If I stop doing karate, I don't feel right. Physically, I don't feel right. I mean, I get a workout out of it, obviously, and no matter how tired I am, I end up going in there, and I always leave with more energy than when I started. Doesn't make any sense. Somehow more energy has been created while being in that dojo. Maybe it's some kind of magic Okinawan voodoo of sorts going on in there, but somehow I leave with more energy than I started. So, I always kind of use that to drive me to get in there and focus on that, and it helps out my performance as well. So that's one thing.
And what can you say about your stage name, Angelica Valkyrie, and what made you decide on that?
Okay, Angelica is my name, so I was born with that. Can't say anything about that. But Valkyrie obviously is from Norse mythology. They're the angels of Norse mythology, as far as I'm concerned. But they carry the slain men, the men that have died in battle, heroic battle, and they take them off to their version of heaven and Valhalla, and they're fed mead for the rest of eternity. So, which is kind of cool. And so I kind of connected with the Valkyrie within Nordic mythology, and I thought that was a lot more metal than just angels. But I always, stuck with my name, Angelica. It's something I can never, it's my name. People call me Angie, too. A lot of my friends call me Angie, straightforward. But, yeah, I figure Angelica, Valkyrie, angels, badass angels, combined together, and that's what I got.
Does that tie into the Flight of the Valkyries at all, or the?
No, actually, surprisingly, no. There's no relation to that. I just happened to have that before Flight of the Valkyries, and then got the invite for the festival back then. So there's no relation.
So what's the ultimate goal with your music?
To take it to the limit. Yeah, I mean, we want to go as far as humanly possible. I mean, I'm going to keep doing this for as long as I can, and as long as I'm able to sing. I don't think I could ever stop singing and stop performing and stop doing music. But yeah, our ultimate goal is to one day just blow the hell up and keep working on new material, keep shooting out some new music videos, and keep giving the fans exactly what they want, more of us, more music, and more fury. I definitely want to keep going in that trajectory of, getting a little more badass with the metal, a little more aggressive, and, things of that nature as we've been progressing. But, yeah, we want to just take that to the limit as far as it'll go.
And are there any other projects you think you'll work on in the future, or will this, be the main one?
Yeah, this is my primary focus. I'm not looking to go into anything else at the moment. It's just too time-consuming. There's no way. You really have to, when you're in a band like this, you really have to commit 110%. There's no way you can make time for anything else.
So what's your overall opinion of the metal scene on the East Coast? Do you feel there's a lot of good bands out here? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, quite a few. There's definitely, I'm seeing a lot more of female-fronted bands like Mind Maze and Sound of Thunder coming aboard, and, there's definitely that going on. Within New York City, like some of my friends in Driven Mad, they got this crazy live show going on in addition to some really heavy metal, which I'm really digging. And I mean, there's so many bands. There's another band, Fate Breaks Dawn. These guys they're phenomenal. Mike from that band, his vocals are just mind-blowingly awesome. But yeah, you'll be surprised. I mean, you come down New York City, there's so many really talented acts out here. It's amazing, you know.
So do you have any advice for like other upcoming bands out there? Or?
Advice for upcoming bands. Be prepared to put everything you have into this. I mean everything, you know, time, money, a lot of sacrifices that you don't realize, you know, you'd have to make will end up being made if you want to keep going in this direction. So just be prepared. If you're really committing to get into metal or into music, I think in general, you're bound to make a lot of sacrifices along the way. And it's going to differ from case by case, from person to person, band to band. But the one thing I've seen that's very consistent throughout is that this is a very difficult industry to get into. And it's a lot of, it's a labor of love. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and, you know, you're going to see a lot of bullshit. But that's just, it's what you love to do. This is really what you want to do, if this is what you love to do, then be prepared. It's a long, AC/DC said it best, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And they're definitely true on that one.
So any final thoughts or things you'd like to say?
Yeah. If you're interested in checking us out, I mean, you could check out our website at www.flamesoffury.com. We also got our Facebook, facebook.com/flamesoffury. We got our YouTube page. Just put in Flames of Fury, it'll connect you to your YouTube page. We got a Twitter. Yeah, you know, just do what you got to do out there. Take it to the limit, and I hope you dig our music.
All right, well, that does it for this episode of BSing with Sean K. I'd like to thank my guest, Angie, for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sean.
Yeah, no problem. And, yeah, so I should have more episodes coming soon, so stay tuned.
Awesome.